Hello everyone, my name is Sarah Kadona and I'm the host for Kadon's Cookies. If this is your first time, you need to subscribe to my YouTube channel and welcome today. Today I'll be talking about how my Canadian visa got approved within a month, and I'll take you through a story. The story goes really back. So I got my admission to Shirley Business School, York University in February of 2025, and then I went further to apply for my Canadian visa. And I knew what it entails. Like I had also watched other videos online. Um, apply your documents properly, be organized in your letter of appeal. So when I applied for my Canadian visa, at first I wanted to use an agent, but using an agent is also very expensive. And at that time, it was just mostly me and my dad that was going for the application processes because I didn't even tell anyone that I was applying. I just went forward and applied. I just told my dad that, okay, see, daddy, I've applied for this, so like this is what I want. I mean, I've been meaning to travel to school abroad for like the past 7 8 years now. Like after high school, secondary school rather. I graduated in 2018, and I wanted to go abroad. I got scholarships, I got admission to school in Cyprus, Australia. But at that time, my dad was like, no, my parents were like very hesitant because I was a teenager. And now that I'm in this country, I'm in Canada right now, Toronto, Ontario. It's pretty much like ideal that like I didn't come earlier. Um, I know if I did come earlier, I would have been, way farther than I am now. But I'm so grateful because I had this opportunity to be chasing my dreams and that because it's everything I dreamed of. I wrote down in my journal when I didn't get opportunity to travel to Cyprus and Australia. I was like, I have to leave this country because of so many reasons. I really wanted a soft life for myself, and I felt like Nigeria at that time could not give it to me. Maybe Nigeria might improve. I want to work for anyone. I just knew that I wanted to become an entrepreneur, and if anything that will help me will be schooling abroad or going a movie or relocating abroad to learn different cultures and languages because my mind at 19, my mind at 18 was so huge for me. I wanted a lot for myself, and I felt like Nigeria could not give me that. I wanted a lot for my future. I wanted to have dual citizenship, travel the world, see the world in so many perspectives. I love life. I love like traveling, reading books. I mean, I love school. So I mean, the route that I wanted to go was like school route, and honestly, it's like the best. Like I'm so intrigued with knowledge. Anything to learn, I will learn. And so that drove me to apply for the Canadian visa. Immediately, I got my admission, even without even knowing that I got like funds or the scholarship was gonna come at that time. I was just moving because I knew that I wanted to leave Africa before the end of 2025, and I knew that. So I was acting accordingly. Um, so when I applied, I was in Ghana at that time, and agents were expensive. I know how to read. I know what to do, and that's why I applied for the Canadian visa myself. And it was an ex- an experience that like I will always want everyone to go through because if you don't understand this, the other visas that you'll be applying for, you may also be affected in them because you'll be depending on agents every time. And sometimes you just need to do things yourself, fail and learn. And um, the first application went smoothly. I applied, paid for the fees. I was rushing because uh-uh, I needed to leave, so I needed to leave ASAP, and I needed to get like the visa approved even before September. And when I applied, my financials were shit at that time. And I had just gotten a job in January because I traveled all the way to Nigeria in December. And fortunately for me, I got the scholarship while I was like still in the process of applying for the Canadian visa. So eventually I did get the scholarships. And when I applied, I did not submit my financial statements. I did not also write my letter of appeal properly. It was crazy because like I was so eager. I was like, this is already done. In my future, it's done. Like I don't need to do too much. And I felt overconfident. So the documents that you'll be submitting for your Canadian visa is your application for study permit outside of Canada, evidence of work permit, your acceptance letter from the school, your passport photograph, your PAL letter, your financial doc. So for the financial doc, you need to merge them together. So you can add your personal bank account, your sponsors, but your sponsors need to be, related to you and have the same surname. Like for me, I use my dad and I use my brother. So do your medicals, also apply for your temporary visa application, and also the appeal also needs to be important because um basically it's just like letting the Canadian government know why you're coming into Canada. Why do you need to be in Canada? And I didn't write that properly. I mean, I just wrote like a simple sentence. Now I'm going back to read my letter. That was trash. I don't know what I was thinking. And I didn't get like feedback from people. I felt like if I did get feedback from people, it would be more like them trying to convince me to do something I didn't want to do. And I was like, I just don't want any confusion. I just want to do what I want to do. And the agent had already advised me that yeah, there were some things to improve on my financial doc and strengthen my essay. But then she also mentioned that I should not apply again, that it's not advisable to apply since usually they reach out like 2 months, a month, 3 months, or some even 8 months, or some even a year. The Canadian government does not get back to them. And also the timeline for my studies to start is September, and I'm applying in July. So when she mentioned that to me, I was sad for a bit, but I said no, I must apply. Me, I'm coming. I even said in my journal and in my prayers that like in 10 days my application will be approved because it's possible people get approved within 12 days, within 2 weeks, within 3 weeks. So why am I different from them? I mean, it's possible. So I went ahead and applied. And even when I applied at that time, I um, was already shopping. I was buying things I needed to buy. I was arranging for my travel. I was already like reaching out to a few people that, oh, Charlie, I'm coming. Where are you? What are you up to? Like, how is Canada? I was already like I got my jacket, I got my like my boots. Um, I was going out a lot. I definitely had time to go out with my friends, and I joined communities. Like I was living life. What I told God was, I've submitted it. I'm so done. If this rejection comes again, like, it's a no. It's not gonna happen. It has to be a yes. So for me, I just went on living life like it's normal. So like I knew that I was gonna get it. So it was just more of when I got it. So do not let anyone tell you what to do. If you have a conviction that this is supposed to happen in your life, if you have a conviction that you want to do this so bad, go ahead and do it. Like, do not care about what people say. The least that can happen is you get a rejection or you get a no, but that should not stop you at all. Honestly. Period. I also advise to do your medicals before submission because that will really reduce the time frame of you getting like a response from the Canadian government. It takes about 5 business days for your medicals to reach the Canadian government after doing your medicals. So I always advise do your medicals before submitting your application. Also, your appeal or your letter of interest into Canada needs to be superb. I will definitely share you a template. Don't forget to show interest by commenting on this YouTube video to, let me share the link, because I don't want to just share information or advise anybody. I want to advise people who are interested to be advised. So if you want all the details of how I went for my application and how I wrote my application, and all the details you need, I will say that you should write ready in the comments. I'm not an immigration officer. Last, my first um application to Canada got refused and rejected. Like, I felt like the world opened up for me and swallowed me. That day I had to call a friend of mine who was already in Canada, and I was just literally crying. I was like, I've prayed. I know that I'm going to Canada. Why did I get rejected? Why? Girl, like, I was like, this is not like possible. I felt like I was so sure that I was gonna get that visa. I mean, I was overly confident that, oh, I mean, I have all the scholarships, I have all the money available for my study. I mean, why is the Canadian government, you know, rejecting this talent? I'm not trying to brag, but because of that, I now realize that, like, I should have submitted financial statements or financial documents. I mean, that is like a little detail that if you miss, your Canadian visa will be rejected. And knowing now that, like, I was like, I'm too smart for this. This is something that, I should not have left out. I mean, well, it happens to the best of us. Moving forward, I did some more research and I realized that, oh, the financials were not complete. Yes, I have scholarships, but then, I mean, you still need to provide your financial documents for the second application. At that time, it was towards like July, and the school starts in September of 2025, and I was now like, no way, I can't leave this opportunity. Even the next day, I had like a online event for shelter, and Charlie, like, I didn't want to even show any ounce of I'm sad, or oh, I got rejected. I was just like, okay, do you know what? I failed, I've cried, and I'm moving on. I'm not gonna waste time, crying about like something that's happened in the past. I can't be crying on spilled milk. So what's the next thing? I spoke to my dad and told my dad, like, there's still the possibility of me going to Canada this year. There's no way that I've seen that in my dream. There's no way I've let this rejection change my mind. There's no way that I will let this little detail affect me. I told my dad that I want to apply again, and my dad, you know, supported the vision like always, which I really appreciate a lot. I mean, so I applied again, but this time I went a different route. I applied like July 10th, and before um August 10th, I got my visa approved, and finally I'm here. So grateful to be here. I'm so grateful to be in this moment. I'm so blessed, and I want to keep sharing my journey, and I hope you're also inspired by my journey. It's okay if your visa application got rejected. Cry all you can. Now the Canadian visa also shares the reason for rejecting your visa. Unlike the time I applied, I had to wait for 1 month to get a response. But before I got that 1 month response, I already knew what I did, and I just like reapplied, and make sure I applied with a more stronger intent. So like I knew why I was rejected, like exactly. And did you know that the Canadian government have rejected this year one of the highest ever, over 62% of study permits, or in general, permits have been rejected this year. So for anyone who's applying for their visa this year or even next year, you have to be very careful. And if you want to use agents, that's fine. Like, but there are so many agent stories that, you know, if people begin to tell their stories of how they don't get the password to their account, and so many things, right? Applying for a visa is easy, but you need to read the details. You need to do your research. You need to do it so that also for applying for other um study permits, work permits, or visas in general, you know how to go about it. Because paying that large amount of money, sometimes you may not have that money at hand, like, and you want to travel abroad, you need to do it yourself. You need to understand the system. Because if you keep waiting for agents to keep doing the work, you are not getting the experience that you deserve. You're not getting to know certain things. If you have to ask them, but apply yourself, because you're going to tap yourself on the back and appreciate why you did that, because this is so doable. Very, very doable. Thank you so much for staying to this point of my video, and I hope this gives you so much inspiration to, apply for schools in Canada, or even come here to visit, and so much more. But one thing is, you need to have a lot of money in your account to show your proof of fund. Do not forget to subscribe.